Check, check, 1, 2. The greatest weekend in motorsport. The triple header. The weekend of IndyCar, Formula One, and NASCAR. Two out of three of which being crown jewel events. Starting now with the 110th running of the Indianapolis 500, ending under the lights with the Coca-Cola 600, and with a side serving of Canadian Grand Prix in between. But that's all for tomorrow, so let's focus on the appetizer today. This is the Circuit Barcelona de Catalunya, and this is round 7 of the Scorpio Super Formula Series. A beautiful 2.9-mile ribbon of fine Spanish asphalt with a wide mix of high, medium, and low-speed corners and one of the longest straights on our calendar. Catalunya has long been a staple on the Formula One calendar and has seen a great many highlights over the years, and proved so again as it put on a barnstormer for us last year, and looks to do so again for a second time. We are moments away from qualifying here today, so let's head down to the track and see who can take pole position here in Spain. Goodness gracious, off to a great start already. Welcome back, folks. I am Scorpio Blade. Thank you all so much for joining us. We are live once again here on the Scorpio Esports channel, and looking forward to potentially another great race ahead of us here today. You are looking at last week's winner, Larson, already out on track. Looks to be 6th in line for the moment as the cars make their way out of the pits. Times seem to be very close in practice once again, so it'll be very interesting to see how our starting grid stacks up. And we also saw a lot of cars having trouble navigating turn 4, which was 2 corners ago, as you would have seen on screen, so that'll be something to keep an eye out for. As, exiting turn 5 as well also seemed to catch a lot of drivers out. So we will watch on with Larson as he looks to navigate the traffic, find himself a nice clean space of road ahead of him, and get ready for his first attempt at a qualifying lap. As always, folks, the overtake button not allowed for our drivers here to be used in qualifying. All down to the drivers themselves and their skill behind the wheel. Larson will exit the final corner, then we'll head down the main straight now, dropping down the hill at over 170 miles an hour into the high-speed turn 1. Over 120 mile an hour through that corner as now he will climb back up through the gears through turn 3, heading now up under the bridge for turn 4. Very early apex, runs it all the way out, using all the track to his advantage. just kissing the apex at the center of the corner as he now drops down the hill once again into this very tricky turns 7 and 8. Gotta be careful of track limits through there. We've seen quite a few drivers pick up time penalties through there over the years. Now he makes his way up through that now flat out in qualifying trim turn 9 and into the hairpin of turn 10. Will make his way up through turn 12 now, and it will be flat out to the line for him from here out. Rounding the turn 13 corner into turn 14, flat out still, as he will come over the line to find himself second place, 2/10 back from S2K, currently on net pole position. Gremnos has put himself P3, Ryan finds himself P4, Supa P5, Rybird in 6th. Great first lap for him. Sam has found himself into 8th, as Alex has jumped himself up into 5th. Method has put himself into the 9th place position, and Quackadilly rounds out our field here today so far after everyone has completed their first of many runs to come. As I believe we actually started qualifying without one of the drivers, it looks like. We lost Peme in the practice session. He has rejoined. So we will expect to see him out on track for the race. He will probably, more than likely, start from the rear. S2K making his way through the final few corners as he looks to set up for his second flying lap. Larson, however, in the meantime, puts himself onto the net pole position by 0.03 of a second. It's right on board with S2K now as he runs down into turn 1. Looks to be running a little less downforce than Larson. His minimum speed's a little bit lower, but he's been carrying a little more speed on the straights to make up for it. Purple first sector for him, 2.1 quicker. Little bit of a slide on the exit of turn 4. Back end of that car not in full compliance with him, but he's been able to keep the car on the circuit. So now runs it up through turn 7 and 8, now into the flat out turn 9. Just get into that inside curve. You don't want to use too much of it, otherwise it'll kick the back end out and spin the car around very easily. For a late apex turn 10, as he will now jump the curve of 11 and stay as tight to the inside for 12 as possible, using all the road to his advantage through 13 now. Dropping down the hill, puts it up onto the sausage curve for 14. And a great run to the line, and it will be a 1:17.714 fastest lap for him as he retakes pole position by 45 thousandths of a second. Remenos, great second lap for him, puts himself into P3. Alex back up into 4th. Supa goes 5th. And looks like Ryan's been having a little bit of trouble finding the time he needs to get up into the top 3, where he has been oh so consistent over the course of this series. Rybird has fallen to 7th, Sam is back up into 8th, Quackadilly finds himself up into 9th, and Method is now down into 10th. Just past halfway here in qualifying. Still got another 3 minutes 15 to go. S2K letting cars on a flying lap by. Actually comes to a full stop to let drivers through. That's very interesting to see. Once again, thank you all so much for tuning in. It is just me in the booth here today, wishing Ivan the best on his trip. Hope to see him back in a couple of weeks. As S2K looks to set up for another flying lap. He does have Method out in front of him, but Dirty Air, Slipstream and Air Effects are off for qualifying, so it will only be the physical car in front of him that he needs to watch out for. He won't be feeling any Dirty Air Effects slowing him down. Much cleaner through turn 4 that time for him. Didn't have the big slide like he did the last time through. Method, though, might be needing to get out of the way here. I'm not sure. He might be on a flying lap of his own, though. A little bit of a twitch for S2K, though, that time out of turn 8. He's going to get a great run on Method, and actually he's going to pull off to the side of the road, unhappy with the Scorpio driver being in the way. Method was on a flying lap of his own, so it wasn't like he was obliged to get out of the way. Just unfortunate spacing for our championship leader. S2K will return to the track now as he lets, I believe that was Alex, through on his flying lap. S2K now with Ramenos all over his back end. He's going to pull over to let the other Scorpio driver through. Track position at a premium, it seems, for the time being here in qualifying. Larson also on an outlap as well. Alex is on a flying lap, so let's ride on board with him here as he runs through the final half of the lap. 166 miles an hour before he slams on the anchors for turn 10. Little bit of a squirm getting back on power coming out of turn 10 though. Using a slightly wider line, not using any of the apex curve at turn 12, but using a lot of it for turn 13 as he's now going to run through flat out to the line. Doesn't quite get all the way out as we've seen from S2K and Larson, but that's still going to be enough to put him on the second row of the grid. A 1:18.062 for Alex, as time does expire, and that will be it for anyone who hasn't already started a lap. Supa crosses the line 4th, so he will not be able to go any better than that. Larson and S2K both did make the line in time. These are their final flying laps. S2K about a tenth or so down on his personal best, though. Ball is in Larson's court here. Can he find the lap time he needs to put it on pole? Runs it flat out through turn 10, or through turn 9, excuse me, into turn 10. He's a tenth and a half up. Not a purple sector, though. But if he's able to hang on to it, he should be able to snatch pole position here. As he will run down through the final couple of corners. Will he find the time he needs to get to the pole position? Over the line, it will be only a 1:17.7. It was an improvement, but not enough. But S2K snatches it back anyway. A 1:17.626, fastest lap of the session. S2K takes pole in Barcelona. Once again, Larson in second. Alex will line up third. Supa in fourth. Gramenos, great qualifying result for him, in fifth. Ryan, a bit out of form, it seems, down in sixth. Rybird is in seventh, a great result for him. Sam has lined up 8th, Quackadilly in 9th, and Method rounds out our qualifiers in 10th. The qualifying session will end in a few moments, and we will be set to go for the race in about 3 minutes' time. So with that, why don't we take a quick recap of the events of what happened last time out in Lago Maggiore. If I can find my notes. There we go. Larson returned to the track last time out, and in ominous form, snapping AMS S2K's 4-in-a-row win streak, preventing him from getting that elusive 5th in a row. Leading as Larson led all laps from the drop of the green to the checkered flag. S2K came home a closely contended 2nd place, while Ryan made a charge from 5th to 3rd in the final 5 laps. And that was, if you haven't already seen that battle from a couple weeks ago, I do highly recommend you go and check out the end of that race. It was a very impressive battle between Ryan, Supa, and Alex. Larson's return to form has quickly raised questions within the paddock if AMS have indeed lost their tire advantage, and if they have the resources to catch back up. Only time will tell. So with the grid now set, let's take a look over at our Drivers' Championship standings. S2K now leads the championship by 26 points over Ryan. Larson has, however, closed back in to 46 points back of S2K. Supa and Gramenos round out the top 5 at 61 and 69 points, respectively. Guzman, Alex, Vader, Ekro, and Rybird round out the top 10 in the standings. Moving on to our team's championship, AMS continues to lead the way at the top of the board and are now 92 points ahead of Foxhound in 2nd place. Scorpio have jumped up to 3rd in the standings at 100 points back from AMS, with Simpulse in 4th place, and series newcomer TWC, who, for the time being, are only being represented by one driver, are now rounding out our standings in 5th. Looks like we do need to reset the grid because of Peime's disconnect. So the grid will be reset manually. The qualifying results will still stand. So we will give our host a few moments to go ahead and rectify that. And once that is taken care of, we should be ready to go get back racing in a few moments. Looks like we've had yet another disconnect, unfortunately. So while we sort out our technical difficulties, we will be back in just a few moments for the drop of the green flag here for the start of round 7 at Barcelona, Catalonia. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will be back in a few moments' time. also appear our drivers are very excited about the release of the new Forza Horizon 6. I'm aware we are broadcasting Gran Turismo 7, and that is a relative competitor, but that is a very, very fun arcade game, or simcade. If you haven't played it yourself, very much looking forward to its PlayStation release, but until then I will be very much enjoying it on console. Hello S2K, thank you for dropping a message. I suppose it can't hurt for our drivers to get a little more practice in before the start of our session. We're just waiting one more driver to load in, which it looks like they are, and we'll be ready to get underway in a few moments, hopefully. 63 laps ahead of us. I don't believe this circuit has variable weather to use. So it should be a dry race throughout. Main thing to keep an eye out for will be tire wear, especially on the left side tires. A clockwise rotating circuit, but a lot of very long right-hand corners, which puts a lot of strain on that left side tire, especially the left front. So definitely going to be important to keep an eye out on that. And like Gramanos mentioned in the little in-game chat, very excited about the upcoming new GR1 cars coming up in June that were just announced earlier today. I believe including the Ferrari 499, Porsche, the Porsche, what's it called? Oh, they're all numbered the same. The Porsche LMDH, the BMW LMDH, and then the Peugeot, I'm forgetting what it's numbered as, but the Peugeot hypercar. Certainly very much excited to finally get a chance to drive those. Rolling start once again, of course, as always, our usual mandatory tire usage. All drivers must run a soft tire at some point during the race, whether they choose to start on it, end on it, all up to them. But they have to use that tire at least once. We should be ready to go in 1 minute. Thank goodness. A few technical difficulties, but that's not unheard of around here, and it's, always happy to just get the race going. So, a few moments time, and we will be ready to go for 63 laps here in the rolling hills of Spain. So once again, it will be S2K from Larson leading the field, with Alex and Supa the row 2, Gramanos and Ryan row 3, Rybird and Sam row 4, Crackadelli and Method row 5, and then Payme rounding out our grid. And we should be ready to go in a few moments. Rolling start, as has been the case for the past few races, so it should be very interesting to see how much slipstream is going to be a factor coming down into turn 1 now on the opening lap. These drivers won't have a steady start to protect themselves by trying to get a better launch than others, although they will be a little more spread out for the start. And with that, we are ready to get underway. It was a titanic battle between S2K, Ryan, and Nico last year. Will we see another case of that, or will we write another chapter in S2K versus Larson? Green flag is out, and we are underway, and they are immediately on the overtake, trying to drain the battery and get away from each other. They are side by side down into turn 1. Super a bit under attack from, that was Gramenos. Contact was made, and that sent Ryan out into the runoff area. No damage on his car, but he certainly lost a heap of time from it. Gramenos up into 5th. Supa hangs on to 4th. Alex is stays 3rd. And S2K leads the way from Larson out in front. It was a lot of stuff going on at turn 1. But all the drivers seem to have made their way through it. And stupid me forgot to click the capture button to try to get a replay of it. Oh well. Either way, we are down and away, and it looks like everyone is through and clean without damage, and everyone is on the medium tire to start as well. So S2K already with a 7/10 advantage as he exits turn 13. And we'll see just how much that now forces Larson, and yeah, you saw him already, needing to take a brief lift off the throttle as he ran through the final corner, but he's now able to tuck back up into the slipstream of S2K, who is still pulling away. Was he on the overtake button down the front straight again? That could be very interesting if S2K has that much of a straight line pace advantage. So S2K with the straight line then, it's going to be very difficult then, one would think, for Larson to try to set up an attack then. Going to need to rely on pit strategy to try to get around him if that's the case. It's going to be very difficult for him to use slipstream to catch up to S2K to think about making a move somewhere. He'll be able to stay very close, but not going to be able to complete a pass more like. And yes, that is a very good point. Front tire wear is going to be a very big deal around here, as we did see last year when our top 3 finished the race on basically just the carcass of the tire. Alex has continued to hang on to P3 for the time being, now running 2 seconds in arrears of Larson out front, who is still just about within a second of S2K in front of him. S2K did not use overtake button that time down the front straight, and yeah, you see, even with the slipstream, he was able to still pull away from Larson. Now, gear ratios are fixed in these cars now with the new BOP settings that are used. That could be a very good telltale sign of just how much more downforce Larson is running on his car. Now, what effect could that have on his tire wear? We will have to wait and see. But one would think that if he's got that much extra downforce on, he's going to be trying to put a little less load through the tire. Alex still runs in P3, Supa still hanging on to 4th, Gramenos running in 5th now, Ryan still hanging on to 6th, so top 6 still in their starting grid positions, despite the melee down at turn 1. Sam has been able to jump himself up into 7th, Ryberg runs 8th, Payme has moved up into P9 from the start of the race, with Quackadilly in 10th and Method rounding out our field so far. Now S2K looking to try to break the slipstream gap back to Larson, now with the over second advantage, or was over a second before they exited turn 3. And this is where that downforce, the extra downforce that Larson seems to be carrying, should pay dividends. Top two already making hay and running away from the rest of the field, as they see, really, they've been making a habit of these past few races. Alex also beginning to run away from Supa, who's built a gap back to Greminos, but Ryan is all over the back of the Scorpio driver, probably not going to be very happy about what happened down at turn 1, lap 1, so he will be looking to make some moves to get himself up further with track position and get himself some cleaner air. He did get a much better run through that final corner, used a little bit of the overtake button, but looks like he is just going to sit in line behind for now as we start lap 5. Up toward the front, Larson with a better opening lap this time. He actually set the fastest lap of the race last time by, which has allowed him to get back within 9/10 of a second to S2K. Once again, gonna need to really pay attention to how that front left tire is wearing. It seems to be quite equal between the two of them. S2K with a purple middle sector as he runs through the lap. The gap coming down still. 6/10. 6/10 is all that separates them for the moment. As S2K makes his way through the final corner, he is able to keep the car flat out through that corner with the clean air. Larson is being forced to take a lift through that corner, which is allowing S2K to build about 1/10.5 every time coming onto that front straight. Another purple opening sector for him, that being S2K, as he rounds turn 4, dives down into turn 5. Gap now stabilizing at about 8.5 tenths. And they continue to run away from Alex, who looks to have slightly better tire wear than the two leaders. Supa seems to have the worst tire wear of the top 4. Ryan has managed to get back ahead of Graminos, and Payme has made his way up into 7th. So another 2 spots gained for Payme, as he now sets his sights after his Scorpio teammate of Graminos up in front. Got 4 seconds of clean air to go ahead and run himself into. So Sam now back down into 8th, Rybird in 9th, and then Quackadilly and Method running station as per. Rybird, though, seems to be the closest to the next car in front of anyone on track. Not using any of the overtake button just yet, so he will continue to sit behind Sam for the moment and just kind of let him tow him along for the time being. Sam, however, does seem to be struggling a little bit for tire wear, so we'll see how much that starts to affect him as the race continues to unfold, as we now work lap 7 of 63. May already starting to close in on Gramenos, who... Actually, Gramenos seems to have the worst tire wear of anyone in the field. Already worn through half of his front left. And you can see the tire wear difference. It is astounding between Ryan and Gramenos. About double the wear rate. I forget if Gramenos is one of the few drivers running on controller. That could play a very big factor in how much these drivers are able to save and preserve their tires. Given by how darty the front end of that car looks, I would assume he is on controller. Let's take a ride on board, see if we can spot it. You can kind of see it was that second snap of the wheel as he turned in for turn 5. He's definitely doing a very good job of being smooth with the wheel for the most part, but you can just hear every time he goes through one of these high-speed corners that sliding of the tire on the front end, just not quite able to get the car rotated into the corner as much as he would like. Probably trying to be a bit careful with the back end of his car. So that's meaning he's just sliding that left front a lot more than he'll realistically want to be doing. You just hear that like skirting sound as he rounds the final corner. That's what he wants to be trying to avoid, because what that's doing is it's basically like a cheese grater to that tire, just shredding the surface. And you can see when the sunlight gets on it, you might see it through here in the corner. If you look on that left front tire, you get right there, you can see the textured surface of it compared to the right front, and that's the tire scraping down, but then also picking up some of the marbles being left on the circuit. Just ever so slightly starting to blister is what that's called. As the surface heats up and expands and starts to overheat, that tire is being overworked. You can see a little bit of it too on Ryan's car, but it's certainly not to the same degree as he makes his way up through turns 11 and 12 and now looks to close in on Supa out in front. Didn't quite have the qualifying pace, it seemed, for Ryan, but certainly has found his race pace once again. As back up front, it is still 0.8 of a second between our top two drivers. Further back, Alex now starting to come under fire potentially from Supa. Alex, though, with much better tire wear than I believe anyone in the field. S2K seems to have his tires in a fairly similar rate. Although he has had the advantage of running in clean air for the entire race, so that will be helping his tire life. Supa now falling a little bit further back, and now Ryan is the closest car to him at just over a second back. Now as they come up through this high-speed corner, Supa with a big moment out of turn 8. And Ryan's going to get right up underneath him. And they're going to battle their way down into turn 10. Supa on the defensive line. And he's just going to be able to squeeze Ryan out for the moment. As actually, he takes a wide line through turn 12, but that's not going to be good for him. Ryan's going to was able to keep a little bit of clean air on his nose. Can he stay close enough to try to make a move? Ryan now draining the overtake as he looks to make a move. Coming down into turn 1, it's going to be a very late defensive move. Ryan trying to run the outside lane, just not quite going to be able to do it. Supa playing the defensive game perfectly. hangs on to it, but he had another snap of oversteer through turn 3. Here comes Ryan again with the run. As they come down into turn 4, Supa has to leave the room, and just about does so, but Ryan is able to hang on to it. Little bit of contact, banging wheels off one another as they come down into turn 5. And Supa able to hang on to it for now. And Ryan will have to tuck back into the dirty air, and that will drop him back and out of contention to try to make a pass for the moment. Supa, though, with a very, very big snap of oversteer out of turn 8, 1 lap ago. Let's take a look back and see exactly what happened. This was Supa on the previous lap now, coming up into turn 7. It's on that inside curb just fine, and then... Oh, he put it a little too wide, got into the grass. Just ran it out into the grass exiting turn 8, and then it was game on from there between him and Ryan. Ryan now looked like driving a little bit flustered potentially as he went very deep into turn 1, trying to get close enough to try to attack Supa. Not going to be able to do it this time through. Back up toward the front, yellow flag is out, and we have lost Payme. Payme has had a problem. He was stopped on the exit of turn 8. He might have sat there for a lap while we were looking through the replays. But he has retired from the race, and that's such a shame. He had made up 4 places from the initial start. That does mean Gramenos is going to be not under attack for a little bit longer. Although his tire, that left front, we mentioned just how much tire wear is going to matter here. Already getting down into dangerous levels. These tires won't necessarily puncture, but once they do wear down to the carcass, it is like driving on ice. No grip in the tire once it gets down to that level. So he will need to start being very careful about how much he's using that tire. Looks like Rybird, another one of the drivers we know is on controller, also having a bit of a tire wear issue, especially on that left front. Quackadilly also quite worn out, but he seems to be... that seems to be a product from him running in the dirty air. Method, though, is actually very, very good on his tires for the moment, but he is 10 seconds back from the nearest car. Take a look. SUK at about 50% wear on his... Actually, both his left side tires seem pretty evenly worn out. That is a very good sign for him. Larson, however, getting down more toward about 60% wear on that left front. Again, probably a product of running in the dirty air for as long as he has. So not overly concerning, but he's definitely going to need to be more strategic with how long he sits in S2K's dirty air if he were to attempt a pass. Gramenos, first driver into the pit lane. And yeah, he needed to get off that tire. Actually, hang on. Gramenos is into the pits because he's picked up damage. What has happened to Gramenos? He's completely written off the front end of that car. I can't help but think did he run into the pit entry wall? Oh dear, what a shame. That's going to cost him a lot of time. And yeah, he would have had to have hit the pit entry wall, and that's where that 3-second time penalties come from. The game would have assumed he crossed the pit entry line on the coming into the pits. Was likely going to come into the pits just for a normal stop, but clobbered the pit entry wall. And that's going to cost him a heap of time. Right on board with Alex just to point out where that wall is. Right there, that that attenuator, it's a ways around the corner, so you've got to be careful with how much speed you carry into the pits. And it just looks like it caught Gramenos out. So Alex now still running in third. Supa hanging on to fourth place for the time being, ahead of Ryan. Both drivers seemingly on very evenly worn out tires. Rybird is into the pits on the medium, and he has made it into the pits without hitting that attenuator. So Method will cross the line now to assume 8th place ahead of Rybird and Gramenos, who have both now made their first trip into the pits. Quackadelli now running in 7th, and Immortal Sam running in 6th place for Simpulse. He and Supa, the only two Simpulse drivers on the grid today. As they look to make up some ground on Scorpio, having fallen back now to 4th in the Teams Championship. Still a long ways to go. Only lap 15, or 16 now, that the leader has crossed the line. Supa continuing, it seems, to pull a slight gap over Ryan. I think Ryan now is just in a bit of a tire management mode, and he's just going to continue to click off the laps and wait until a more opportune time to try to make a move. Alex continuing to run very well in 3rd place for the moment. Looking for, I believe, either his first or 2nd podium on the season. I should probably have pulled that up. He has had the pace to be on the podium quite often this season. Just unfortunate circumstances have kept him from being able to find the lap time needed. As S2K makes his way out onto the start-finish straight. Well, folks, as S2K rounds his way through turn 3 to the end of Sector 1, this past week, the motorsport world was put into shock at the sudden loss of two-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Kyle Busch, the winningest driver in the top 3 series at 234 combined wins across the 3 series. Kyle was considered unanimously one of the best drivers to ever wheel a stock car. But there was so much more to him than just his immense stat book. Kyle was a loving husband and father, and will dearly be missed across the entire motorsport community. Our thoughts and prayers are with the entire Busch family as we go ahead and take a lap of silence in his honor. Lap 18 for the Candyman, Rowdy, Kyle Busch. He passed away at 41 years old. S2K jumps into the pits to complete lap 18. Larson came into the pits a lap prior. Ryan has followed his teammate into the pit lane. And so we will look to see where these two emerge from the pits. S2K looks to be clear of Larson out in front. Larson with a 29.8 for an outlap. Or for an, for an outlap, excuse me. S2K a 37.0 for his in-lap, 0.2 quicker than Larson's 37.2. That puts Alex out in front for the moment, still yet to pit, as is Supa. And you can actually see S2K rounding turn 8 in the background. Sam has jumped into the pits, as has Quackadilly and Gramenos, both of them going out onto the hard tire. We can expect to see Alex and Supa in fairly shortly. S2K onto another set of mediums, as is Larson, as is Ryan. So this is going to be the battle to see where Ryan can jump through the pit cycle as Supa comes into the pit lane. This will be an attempt to cover off Ryan. And this could be very close on the exit of the pit lane here. Ryan is going to be able to have the overspeed, and the undercut has worked out in his favor. So Ryan up into P4 with the undercut on Supa, although his tires are a lap older. Larson a little bit wide exiting turn 7 there. But a personal best lap for him, as he looks to hunt down S2K. He has once again put himself within 0.8 of S2K for the moment. As you saw Alex rounding turn 13, he has stayed out for yet another lap. This is very impressive for the Scorpio driver. It is actually even probably more credit to him. Whatever setup work the Scorpio crew have managed to pull off for him, his tires are actually rear limited, which is very surprising to see around a circuit like this. Although that does mean he will actually need to be a lot more careful now with the back end of the car. As you wear out the left front, the car is going to start to understeer more and more. But with a rear limited setup like you see here, it's going to be much more difficult for Alex to put power down. So he's going to need to be very careful, especially on the exit of corners like this, and through turn 9, that he doesn't lose the back end of the car. None of that seems to be phasing him for the time being. He's got a 6.8 second lead over S2K, so he won't be able to jump S2K in the pit lane. But we would certainly expect to see him rejoin in third place as he rounds turn 12 and will now jump into the pit lane. Oh, gets into the wall but doesn't pick up any damage. So that's very good to see. So now the question will be, what tire does he go onto here for his next tire stint? This is the man he's looking to beat out of the pit lane. Ryan running in fourth. Coming now through the final corner himself, as Alex throws on a new set of boots and will exit the pits on another set of mediums and should be clear of Ryan, and is. He's got now a 1.2, 1.1 second lead. Make that a second. 9/10. Okay. Get up to speed, will you? Alex out of the pits and in front of Ryan, although Ryan's tires are up to temp, so if he's going to try to make a move, now would need to be the time.
keep a tighter line running through turn 4 to keep clean air on the nose. Now Alex is going to be able to use some of that dirty air to his advantage to try to defend from Ryan. Ryan 1.4 ahead of Supa as he looks to get back up into the podium places. Looks to be a very clean run out of turn 9. But 9/10 back now, going to be very difficult to try to set up a pass going into turn 10. So it looks like the lap car potentially going to become a factor here in a couple of laps. Larson actually, hang on a moment, got very close to S2K here as he looks to apply the pressure. Coming down into turn 1, wasn't able to get close enough to think about a move just yet. And that is the lap car of Quackadilly ahead of Alex and Ryan. So this is without question the closest Larson has been all race to S2K. Half a second back, but that gap is growing now with the dirty air, forcing Larson to get off the throttle in order to stay on the track. Remnos currently with the fastest lap at an 18.1, although I believe that was set on the soft tire. Looks like Larson is just a little bit better off through turns 10 through 12. And would probably be better off through turns 13 and 14, if not for the fact that he is dealing with S2K's dirty air. They're going to fire it down into turn 1, and S2K is going to continue to pull away. Larson, though, with a better exit through turn 2, so that's going to let him get a bit closer back. He's using the overtake in a very unorthodox place to try to get a bit closer. I think he realizes that if he's going to try to make a move, he can't wait to try to make it at one of the ends of long straights. He realizes he's got a downforce advantage on S2K, so he's going to need to try to find an unorthodox place to think about making a pass. Question is going to be whether or not he can find a place to get close enough. Best bet for him is he needs to use the slipstream and lack of dirty air through turns 1 and 2, try to get a better run through 3, and then hope that he's able to get a nose up alongside S2K through turn 4. He's half a second back here, so if he can stay relatively close, he has a chance. Drops to 6 and a bit tenths back from S2K as he tries to break the toe down into turn 1. Gap closing in under 4 tenths. Doesn't seem to be able to get any closer than that for now. Larson liking that very tight line through turn 3. Although that is going to put a little more strain on his on that left front tire. You can already see the effect it's having of sitting back in the dirty air of S2K. Now obviously he did also pit a lap earlier, so that will account for a little bit of that wear difference. As Method comes into the pits now for a second time. Yes, this is his second stop and not for damage. Going to get himself off the medium tire. S2K now with a 6/10 advantage already, even before the final corner, so he's got a little bit bigger of a gap this time by. And Alex has managed to put 2.5 seconds between him and Ryan. Ryan doesn't look like he's run necessarily bad laps, it's just he's lap 23 was a little bit off pace for him, 21.8 to 21.1s. where his pace should be. Alex, though, with the clean air, able to run 1 minute 20.6s. So Alex seemingly with the pace advantage over Ryan for the moment. So that should allow him to start pulling away, especially on the fresher tires and the cleaner air. Ryan, however, still pulling away from Supa. Rybird running 6th. Great run for him so far today. Got himself in a great spot running nearly in the top 5. Doesn't look like he's got the pace to try to go ahead and find a way up to Supa. But with a little bit of luck from tire strategy and who knows what else, you never know. If one of the leaders has a falling out, he could find himself into a top 5 position, and I think that would be his first in the series. Sam currently running in 7th for the moment. He's got a 6.5 second advantage over Gramenos, but Gramenos also has a half-second time penalty for track limits to serve, so that's going to be in excess of 7 seconds in a few moments. Method has exited the pits onto another set of mediums. He is in 9th, and Quackadilly runs 10th, 40 seconds back. The top 2 still nose to tail after another 10 laps of running here. S2K running very consistent lap times, it must be said, very consistently. 1 minute 20.5s, 1 minute 20.4s, actually had a 1 minute 20.3 a few laps ago. Although, that said, Larson's a lot closer this time through turn 13, 2/10ths back. If he could just hang on through the dirty air, stay close enough. 4/10ths back in the slipstream. Does he think about draining the overtake to try to get a bit closer? Half a second back, and S2K again pulling away despite giving the slipstream to Larson. That top speed advantage for S2K is immense, but this is Larson's best chance here. If he's going to make a move, that's the corner where he's going to need to make it happen. He's got to be that close coming through turn 3, but then he's got to really drain the overtake if he's going to try to sling one up the inside on S2K, and it will have to be the inside. I don't think he's going to be able to make a pass around the outside if S2K goes defensive into turn 4. He's going to really need to catch S2K off guard. And it looked like a little bit of lag between the two. Larson actually using a bit of overtake to try to stay close. He's going to fire one up the inside at turn 10. Not going to be able to make it happen. S2K was wise to it. Left him the room, and Larson with a big step of oversteer going into turn 12. Able to hang on to it, but that's going to drop him right back out of it. And he will have to reset and re-go at it again. Both of them using a lot of the overtake button. S2K using it defensively. Larson trying to use it just to stay close enough to think about a pass into either turn 4 or turn 10 seems to be his best bets if he can stay close enough. Realistically, he's going to need S2K to make a mistake if he wants a shot at it. S2K still in a very solid rhythm for the moment. And that's allowed him to rebuild that gap up to 1.2 seconds. So Larson should now start to feel a little more clean air on the nose, which has allowed him, and you can see it, to be a lot faster through turn 9 that time. Yes, turn 9 that time. Question once again becoming, where can he possibly try to make a move if he ever gets close enough? lot of drivers very confident in being able to put their cars 2 tires onto that sausage curb entering the final corner. Not really upsetting the balance of the cars too much as they go into that very high-speed corner. Very easy for something to go wrong, take a trip out into the gravel, potentially even the wall. Now you see Larson running that wider line, putting a little less strain on his tire. 2/10 down on his personal best lap this time through. .21.5 seconds back. Alex still holding on to P3, and 2.6 ahead of Ryan. These two seem to be pretty much at a stalemate for how close they can get to one another. And Supa also pretty much at a stalemate in that train as well, hanging around 1.9 back from Ryan. So these 3 cars seem to be pretty well situated with where they are on track. Larson trying to close back in within a second of S2K. You see S2K once again dropping down onto the dirtier line, but that's so that way he doesn't give any whisper of slipstream to Larson down that main straight. Larson not even chasing him down the track to try to pick up the slipstream. And you see that's allowed S2K to pull 2/10 down that straight alone, but Larson does make it up in the corners when he has clean air. When he's in the clean air, Larson is without question a lot faster through the corners. The problem for him is that he only gets to a certain point, gets into the dirty air, and he can't go any faster through the corners, and then has to rely on the slipstream from S2K to even stay close enough to him through the rest of the lap. Another 1/10 down on S2K's personal best, but is still managing to pull away from Larson for the moment. And more crucially, still has the overtake button advantage, as we are rapidly approaching the halfway point of this race. As I think we are now actually, in fact, halfway through this race. Just past the 42-minute mark. So looking back through the field once again, Alex now up to a 2.9 advantage over Ryan's. So we'll see if Ryan actually has a bit of that same top speed advantage on Alex that S2K seems to have on Larson. And it certainly seems to be that way. He gained 3/10 alone down that main straight. Supa down to 1.7 back from Ryan. Doesn't really seem to be able to make much more headway than that, however. Rybird actually continuing to pull away from Sam, who, despite being on the medium tire compared to Rybird's hards, not catching at the moment. In fact, he is falling back into the clutches of Greminos, who is also on the hard compound tire. So perhaps that hard tire proving to be a little bit more useful than some of the other teams would have initially thought. It would have taken a little bit more time to come up to temperature, but seems to be a very well-balanced tire. And we'll see how easily, if at all, Greminos is going to be able to catch up to and try to pass Sam in a couple laps time. And as we see Method now falling into the clutches of Alex and co. So Method will be receiving blue flags now. So we can expect him to start jumping out of the way in probably a few corners here. Still far enough ahead where he shouldn't be giving Alex any dirty air just yet. but he will need to start thinking about getting out of the way pretty quickly here. As actually Gramenos has gotten around Sam. I wonder if potentially Sam had a little bit of issue. Let's take a look. See what happened here. Sam running in 7th. Comes out of the corner. Oh, nearly goes for a spin, able to save it. But that is Gramenos up into 7th place. Sam down to 8th. So that solved itself out pretty quickly. Back up a little further forward. And Alex has been freed by Method, who drops in behind and will now be getting out of the way of Ryan. Gap out in front between the leaders seems to be continuing to grow. SGK now, I believe it was a 1.9 second advantage, and is. Method now does need to start getting out of the way of Ryan. Evidently, he's pulling the teamwork game. Definitely helped out Alex, but not letting Ryan get any closer, but that will have held up Ryan a little bit. But he was able to duck out of the way once Ryan did get to him. So not too much time lost. I don't believe the stewards will take a look into that. And now he has Supa to get out of the way for it, and does. Closing in on another round of pit stops, I would assume. Supa, the earliest of this trio into the pit lane, so we will watch out for him to make the move first. All of our top 5 having pit onto the medium. Actually, Larson, the worst off for tire wear. SGK with a little bit of lap traffic to deal with in the form of Sam. And he can actually see Gramenos out in front ahead of him as well. Now this could benefit Larson here if Sam doesn't get out of the way, and he should be doing. And this is definitely going to start holding up S2K now. Sam now finally getting out of the way. S2K following him over to show a bit of displeasure. And Larson into the pits, not wanting to contend with the lap cars, but also those tires starting to get quite worn out. Lap 35 into the pits for our 2nd place runner. Does he think about trying to take a set of hard tires to the end? Actually, he still needs to run a set of soft tires at some point, so he will probably try to take this as far as he can, and then ideally will want to throw on 1, maybe 2 sets of softs to run to the end. Supa also into the pits, following suit. I think this is probably a little bit early compared to where you would realistically want to pit in order to make it to the end on just one more stop to a set of the mandatory soft tire. And Larson has actually come out ahead of Ryan. Such was his lead. Actually, hang on. When did Ryan get around Alex? Oh my goodness, Alex has had a huge issue this previous lap. He's lost 8 seconds. What on earth has happened to Alex? S2K is into the pit lane. 36.2 in lap to a 36.5, so he was 0.3 faster than Larson. Larson, however, draining the overtake. And oh boy, this could be very close now. S2K out of the pit lane, but Larson with the heat in his tires and the downforce advantage. This is the closest he's been. S2K with a snap of oversteer, but Larson unable to get the car to rotate in. You heard just how much the tires were screaming at him coming through turn 3. S2K able to hang on for now. Larson still on the overtake, still all over the gearbox of S2K. If he's going to make a pass, it has to be into turn 10. Because otherwise, I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move anywhere else. Tires screaming at him once again through turn 9. Half a second back, though, not going to be close enough for a dive. He takes a peek, trying to throw S2K off. Not going to work, though. Able to stay relatively close coming out of turn 12. 4/10 back. Is he able to hang on to the front end here? Nearly. And now he will chase S2K down the main straight, draining the overtake button as he tries to get close. If he can get a good enough exit through turn 2, he might be within with a chance. But it doesn't look like it. S2K with a great run out of the corner. S2K also doing very well to place his car in areas where it just takes a little more air off of Larson's nose. Really restricting how much he's able to turn in for the corner. Now, with his tires up to temp, Larson's just going to continue to lose time here. So I apologize for missing it, but it seems Alex has had a problem a couple laps ago. I would assume just went for a spin because he doesn't have damage. He didn't pick up, he didn't hit anything. I can only imagine might have been exiting turn 10 and just had a snap of oversteer like we just saw there. Again, it's that rear limited setup. He's got to be very careful with it. And so that's caused him to drop position to Ryan. He did seem to have the pace advantage earlier in the run, so we will wait and see if he's able to get back close enough to Ryan, potentially get the spot back. Supa has already been into the pits. 18 seconds back from Alex and about 22 back from Ryan. Larson, his personal best lap the last time by a 19.9.090. And S2K also put in his personal best lap the last time by at a 19.870. So about a 10th quicker. And again, that clean air just proving to be enough for S2K to hold off a very hard charging Larson. Ryan now into the pits a couple laps after his teammate. So now one would assume this probably also means S2K would have wanted to go a few laps longer on his previous set of tires, but was forced to come in and pit to cover off Ryan, or to cover off Larson. Ryan is onto his mandatory set of soft tires. None of the leaders have made their soft tire stop yet. Rybird into the pits to get off of the hard tire, which puts Greminos up into 6th for the moment. now we will watch to see what pace Ryan has on those soft tires. Sam into the pits as well to get off the medium. So now we know a set of mediums can go 18 to 20-ish laps. This could be we have 23 laps to go here. I wonder if Ryan is going to try to do a two-stop on softs instead of running mediums to the end here. Well, obviously everyone still has to do one set of softs. But they're not quite close enough to where they could do it on just one set of softs. Say not quite. They're not anywhere nearly close enough to do it on one set of softs. Now, with Ryan having made his pit stop already and on a much faster set of tires, you would expect him to be miles clear of Alex once he and Supa come into the pits. So if Alex wants to get back up into the podium places, he is going to need to work on a tire strategy of his own in order to get back past Ryan. So we'll see what he can do here. He is coming into the pits this time. Keeps it out of the wall just and is into the pit lane. Watch out for Supa. Actually, no, excuse me. Supa has already made his stop. My apologies. So we would expect to see Supa out ahead of Alex, given Alex was behind Ryan in the pits. Ryan actually all closing up rapidly to Supa. Now this could be the advantage for Alex. He is on to another set of mediums, still has the soft tire to run. So this means Ryan is going to have to use the soft tire to get around Supa and build a gap. Because otherwise, these two battling is going to bring Alex right back into it. He is only 8.5 seconds back. So keep an eye on that gap. Real quick, just going to check. Larson picks up a half-second penalty for track limits. He is close, but he's going to drop back behind SGK regardless of it, if he's able to get around him here. And Ryan unable to get around Supa just yet. Within half a second, though, so if he can use the mechanical grip advantage of these soft tires to stay close enough, he could try draining the overtake to get close. 0.6 back. He needs to use whatever straight line advantage he has. Try to get around him. Supa actually dipping a tire into the grass. He's that far off to the inside lane. Supa seems to be a bit better off for straight line speed than we've seen out of the Scorpio and Foxhound cars. Ryan closing back in under 0.3 as he looks to try to get close enough into turn 4. Not going to be able to do it. Still stuck behind Supa. And Alex gaining a little more time still. Gained a couple tenths through turn 4. This is where Alex needs to pounce now. He needs to use the tire to get close enough to catch up to Ryan, who had a big moment exiting the corner, and he picked up a half-second penalty because of it. So Ryan now going to be forced to realistically sit behind Supa. Going for a move now would just realistically just going to be pointless, because all it's going to do is drop him back behind Supa now with the time penalty. If he's going to make a move, he needs to get around Supa now and then build over a half-second advantage before he serves the penalty, because otherwise Supa's just going to get right back by him. It looks like he has the advantage. If he can get a second, 7/10 on Supa before the exit of turn 9, he should be okay. This is going to be very touch and go, though, with the time penalty. Larson actually continuing to fall back now. He is over a second and a half back, or just under a second and a half back, excuse me. Half-second penalty for Ryan here. Is Supa going to be able to get back by? He serves the penalty. He's going to be down on speed. Supa closing in. Not going to be close enough. So Ryan was able to make the pass stick, and that means Alex is not realistically going to be able to catch up to him now until he also puts on a set of soft tires. Although Alex now also being held up pretty greatly by Method. Teammate on teammate action here. That's... oh boy, Alex really being held up through the final few corners. That one might get looked at by the stewards. So Alex now 6 and a bit seconds back from Supa. He should continue to catch, being on the tire wear advantage of having pitted much later than Supa. But Ryan now, his tires, you can see just how much they are wearing out. He's going to need to pit again before Supa needs to make his final stop onto the medium tire, or onto his mandatory soft tire. It's a very interesting strategy call, because most of these drivers are going to use the soft tire as their final stint tire to try to go for the fastest lap on the lightest fuel load. Ryan has used it, however, to get a bit of track position a little bit early, so that way he can get ahead of everyone and then hopefully, for his sake, use the dirty air to stay ahead. That said, he is 35 seconds back from Larson, who is an additional 1.2 back from S2K. So that looks to be about as far up the field as Ryan's going to be able to get today. Although that said, from a sixth place starting position, still being able to finish on the podium is not a bad shout. Supa now definitely starting to hemorrhage a bit of lap time to Alex. Alex, another personal best lap for him, a 20.4 on those medium tires. Great. That is leader pace. That is the pace of the race leaders, that lap. If he's able to hang on to that, that is an astounding pace for him. And I would imagine he's now going to be able to do so now that he doesn't have lap cars to contend with, at least for a while. Larson within 9/10 of S2K for the moment. Again, really wearing out those tires, however. S2K is going to be in a much better position for his in-lap, at least, when it comes to pitting onto his final set of softs, as will... so both of these drivers still needing to pit one more time onto the softs. And we would expect that no earlier, I'd say, than lap 55. Ryan will likely need to come into the pits. Let's see, he put those tires... actually, look like they're about good. The soft tires look like they're probably good for about 10 laps or so, even on this lighter fuel load. So maybe at the earliest, lap 50, you could get to the end, but that would certainly be a stretch. Ryan is definitely within the window where he should be considering making his final stop onto the medium. Meanwhile, Supa now only 1.6 ahead of Alex, who has had a blistering final corner. If Alex didn't have a soft tire that he still needed to run, he could probably try to take these to the end. These medium tires to the end. Actually, that is the other point. Ryan probably is going to try to extend these tires as long as he can to throw on yet another set of soft tires. I mean, there's no reason why there's nothing in the rules saying he can't use another set of softs. It's just you have to use at least one. Supa now definitely starting to come under fire from Alex, who has a very big overtake button advantage as Supa picks up a half-second penalty. So the job just became a little bit easier for Alex. All he's got to do is get within about 6 or 7 tenths of Supa in front, and he should be able to clear him going into turn 10 once he has to serve that penalty, and he's already within that gap. Ryan into the pits to get off of that set of softs. Does he go for an... Ooh, that might be a bit early, actually. Lap 48 to get to the end on another set of softs. I think he has to go medium. Alex still sat in behind Supa, so he's not been able to make the pass before the penalty line. Ryan will exit the pits and onto a set of mediums as expected. So unable to extend long enough to put on another set of softs. So does that open the door for Alex, potentially? Got to stay close enough to Supa here where he's able to make the move into the turn 10 hairpin. He's about 8 tenths back, so this could be touch and go with it. Supa stays over to the left-hand side. Alex going to try to fire one up the inside. Late braking maneuver. Supa tries to cross him over. They're going to be door-to-door as they exit turn 10. Alex nearly spins the car. He hangs on to it. What a save from Alex as he's going to be able to make the pass on Supa. Oh, but he has another set of oversteer. They spin. They crash. Alex into the wall. And both of them are going to need to come into the pit lane early. Both drivers heavy damage. Neither one was going to yield. Oh my goodness, what has happened? Does this put Gramados into position to take over the... No, he's into the pits as well, never mind. Those hard tires are not going to the end. I think he's going to need to come oh boy. I don't know if he's run a set of softs yet. Alex has thrown on his set of softs. Supa hasn't. Supa will need to pit again in order to fulfill the requirement. Alex is technically good to the end, although he is also... we've seen him be one of the best for tire wear, although he has found himself directly in between the two leaders. He will need to yield for the blue flag, or he's going to need to use the pace advantage to get ahead of S2K. Which, honestly, I don't know if that's realistically going to happen despite being on the softer tire. All this is realistically going to do is build a larger buffer for S2K if he doesn't yield to Larson. So Ryan is down the catbird seat, having fulfilled the tire requirement, and now has a 6 and a bit second lead over Supa, who, again, needs to pit another time in order to fulfill the tire requirement. Alex is in a tricky spot where he now has to conserve his soft tires to last 14 laps to the end. Although he is now very close to S2K, so we'll see if he's able to try to jump him here. He's going to try to unlap himself. I mean, S2K is not letting him go. S2K didn't want to let him go, but evidently the soft tire was enough to overcome being a lap down. So now Alex will continue to try to run away from the leaders. Oh my goodness. Well, once this cools down a bit and we've reestablished an order, we will definitely take a look back and see what the hell happened. So Ryan is ahead of Supa. Again, Supa needs to pit one more time. Alex needs to try to run away from the leaders and save his tire enough to make it to the end. Remenos, I forget if he's run a soft tire yet. He's actually actively battling Rybird for 6th. That is very wide and does pick up a time penalty for it. He's not going to serve it this time, but likely will on the next lap. Sam runs 8th, Method 9th, Quackadilly in 10th. Alright, let's take a look back at this replay, see what the heck happened. They were side by side into turn 12. You could hear Alex snap on throttle, and then it was just another snap of oversteer. Supa nowhere to go. And Alex just, unfortunately, into the wall. Let's take a look back one more time, this time from Alex's POV. There's that snap of oversteer, like we said. Very gingerly trying to get on throttle. Does he use the overtake through here? Oh, that could have been why. Tires still overheated, actively using the overtake button, and just too much load going through the rear tires. Man. Horrible incident. I'm sure race control will have a look at after the race. And S2K, both leaders into the pits on the same lap, 10 laps to go. And like I said, the soft tire is probably good for about 10 laps. This is that final stint for them. Now, will we see Supa come into the pits now on this same lap as well to fulfill that requirement? Both leaders are in. And they are both out onto the softs. Remenos is going to slot in between them. But I would imagine being on the medium tire, he is going to immediately try to yield, or going to need to yield, to Larson. He's actually trying to make a move on S2K, get his lap back, but I don't think he realizes they're on the soft tire. Out very wide in the corners, and he is going to immediately try to jump out of the way of Larson. Oh, not yet. Now he is. Jumps out of Larson's way, and that is a great racecraft from Gramenos to get out of the way as quickly as he did. So Ryan decisively into third, 2.8 seconds ahead of Supa, who is, by the way, flying right now. 1 minute 20.2. He is evidently, if he's driving angry, he needs to drive angry more often because his lap times are crazy good. But again, I'm 99% certain Supa still needs to fulfill the soft tire requirement. So Alex is actually only 4.5 seconds back from Ryan, despite the crash. Alex might not be out of contention for a podium just yet. The question is going to be whether or not he can A, catch Ryan, and then B, make the pass on what would likely be dying soft tires. Back up at the front, however, Larson has caught up to S2K. 0.6 back. Oh, but very little overtake left to use. S2K's got a lot more overtake left. Larson trying to find anywhere he can potentially make a move. He's got to be very mindful of where he uses the rest of that overtake button. 3.5 tenths back. If he can stay close enough through this final corner, you can see just how much he's overheating that left front tire, trying to stay close enough. Tire wear has not been his advantage here today. Six tenths back. Is he able to get close enough to try to make a move? S2K won't be thinking about trying to use his overtake for a fastest lap attempt, so I don't think he's going to be able to take a swing at Ramanos's 1 minute 18.1. At least not with Larson directly on his heels. Larson half a second back as he closes in, coming into the hairpin. Actually had a much better run through the corner. S2K used a lot of the apex curb. But then that dirty air costing him another 10th through turn 12. And again through turn 13. And he's picked up another half-second time penalty. Just out too wide. Didn't want to overheat the tire again. And that's going to be likely curtains for him. Supa within a second of Ryan. Again, I don't know if he remembers he needs to fulfill that mandatory tire requirement or what his plan is. But they are both being rapidly caught. Oh, car goes around on the front straight. Who is that? Quackadilly with a big spin out of the final corner. Picked up the half-second time penalty, but he's going to be able to get back going. Larson's going to serve his time penalty here. Supa still chasing Ryan, but oh, here, round two, boys. Here comes Alex. Down the front straight they go. Unlike last time, this isn't going to be a matter of Supa serving a time penalty, which gives Alex a chance. This is going to be pure tire pace advantage against Supa. So we will see how much these two try to fight each other here. Dirty air just preventing Alex from being able to get on throttle as early as he wanted. Still within 0.8 of a second. Supa pretty evenly spaced between the two cars sandwiching him. Drop back a little bit from Ryan, but he's going to drop into the clutches of Alex. Half a second back. Alex closing in, got a little bit of a better exit through the slow speed corner. Supa out a little wide, going to give a little bit of clean air to Alex's nose. And now he's going to be on the overtake through the final couple of corners. Oh, out very wide. That might be touch and go with the time penalty. Looks like he's going to be okay. 0.3, still draining the overtake. Fakes it to the inside. Trying to throw Supa off. Supa runs it deep into the corner. He's being aided by the slipstream of Ryan. Likely what saved him from being overtaken there. Supa with a much better run than Ryan through the opening half sector of the lap. He's got a second advantage over Alex now. And Alex, oh boy, those tires went through a shock being that close to Supa that previous lap. Gotta be careful. He's still got to make these tires last to the end. I don't know if they will now. He's got 5 laps to make these tires last. I said pitting on lap 50 was going to be a tall order to make these tires go to the end. And it seems to be the case up front. S2K still pulling away now, 1.5 ahead of Larson. And I think that's going to be it for the battle for the lead. Battle for third, though, still only 2 seconds separating these three drivers. Further back, Remenos looks like he is catching up to a lap car. Yes, that is Method in front of him. Rybird is on his own. There is a car in the pit lane. That is Quackadilly. I believe he is retiring from the race. Ryan certainly looks to be in the catbird seat for the moment. Rybird is into the pits to get off the hard tire. 4 laps to go. Rybird could actually try to go for the fastest lap of the race. He's got plenty of overtake to do it. And managing to pull away a little bit from Supa, who has pulled away a lot from Alex. And Sam now also into the pits. I would assume to also try to go for fastest lap. He has the potential to try to do so as well. Four laps to go now, and yeah, that left front tire on Alex's car. It is going to be a stretch to get that thing to the end. Again, I can't help but shake the feeling. I don't remember Supa ever running the soft tire at any point, so he still has to come into the pits to use it, no? S2K has run away from Larson, whose left front tire now basically on the rim. Nothing left in it, so that is going to be the battle for the lead decided, as Larson's now just going to be trying to nurse that thing home. He could, well, if he wanted to go for fastest lap, he would have needed to pit the previous lap, and he doesn't have the overtake to try to do it. Supa closing in again, but he is going to jump into the pits now to finally get off of the medium tire. So Supa actually in with the best chance of going for fastest lap. Can Alex make that tire last to the end? I'm tempted to agree with Larson. Probably should just come to the pits to get off that tire. Come to the pits, make sure get off it, and make sure you can just get to the end without crashing. Because that's the last thing you would want to have happen in this position. Second place, still a great result. No need to try to risk it by staying out. And that tire is now completely worn out. You can see just how much understeer that thing's now having to deal with. So lazy trying to get into the corner. To his credit, he still has 45.5 seconds over Ryan. And Alex will now come around to 2 laps to go. And that tire is also pretty much on the ground. Now, what could be interesting is if Supa is able to lap 10 seconds a lap fast, is able to run 10 seconds a lap faster than Alex. He could catch up. But we will see. Alex has not only worn down the front tire, it is both left side tires are completely worn out. And Larson is into the pits. He knows he's not going to be able to run that tire to the end. S2K is on his final lap of the race. We're going to keep our eye on these drivers who are trying to make their soft tires last. It's going to be very risky for Alex to take that thing to the end. But Alex also can't come into the pits now because Supa is close enough where he would jump him. So he's got to nurse that tire back around. But once again, what a display by S2K. I'll tell you a little story. After post-race interviews last time out at Lago Maggiore, he immediately jumped back into the car around this circuit, looking for setup advantages to try to get the tire wear back that he had lost him the race in Maggiore. Well, that pace certainly paid off for him as he takes a decisive win. S2K, battle like Bush, wins it in Barcelona. Larson will come around to finish in second, 37 seconds back from S2K. Ryan will bring home a hard-fought P3, but a very impressive race pace out from him. And this is the, well, I was going to say we'll keep an eye on Alex, but Supa was a lap down to S2K, so that will save Alex from losing any more places. Gramenos will come home P6. Ryberg spins it across the line in P7. Sam will come home in 8th. Method comes home 9th. And Crocodile will be unofficially scored in the 10th place position in the pit lane. My goodness me, what a drive. S2K, yet another win on the tally. Career win number 13 in the Scorpio Super Formula Series, and with the Rowdy Forever sticker on the side of the car. Post-race interviews coming up in just a few moments, folks. If you have any questions for our top three, be sure to drop them in the stream chat, and we'll get to them. So don't go anywhere just yet. Interviews coming shortly.
Good afternoon, Blade.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. How about yourself, Blade?
You know what? Doing pretty good. Just it was quite the action.
Quite a mirror-filled race.
Well, for you, I certainly.
Yeah, for me, it was a very mirror-filled race. Adaptive, you were like rocket boosters, and I was looking at my mirror every lap.
Yeah, that was a good race.
Yeah, I feel bad for you. Like, if it was me, I would have been raging.
Yeah, it's hard, it's tough and dirty. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
But it was nice. I mean, you drove well, so
yeah,
I enjoyed that.
Yeah. I'm not gonna spoil too much before interviews, so maybe we'll talk after if you want.
All right. Just waiting to see if we can get Ryan into the party.
Oh, I have to grab the replay before I forget.
Invite Ryan, didn't I?
I can invite him again if you'd like.
There he is. Okay.
There he is, Mr. King.
Yeah, sorry, I have to transfer a bunch of mic stuff over whenever my stream ends, so it takes me a second.
All good. Glad to have you in here. All right. So I guess let's get post-race interviews started. Ryan, we'll start off with you. Qualifying probably not up to the caliber you were hoping for, but still a very solid race pace out of you to come from 6th to 3rd over the course of the event. First thing I want to start off with, because unfortunately we missed it on the broadcast, I think it was around lap 35. We saw you were able to jump Alex. It looked like Alex lost 8 seconds on the lap. So do you know what happened to him?
Lap 35, you said?
It was around lap 35, I believe.
I saw him spin coming into turn 3. Like, I think he clipped the curb slightly and then sent the car around. But I don't know if that was that lap, but I'd assume that's what it was.
If it was turn 3, I would assume that was the case then. Because we caught what happened with his battling later on, which I suppose we'll get to later. But evidently... so that's what happened to him, just a spin going into or coming out of turn 3 then. Because obviously he wouldn't have hit anything, he didn't have any damage on the car, but he lost a considerable amount of time to drop him behind you. So I guess that's what gave you the track position advantage. And then we saw you come into the pits for your stint on the softs, a tire stint before anyone else in the top 5. I believe you went onto the tire around lap 40-something. Was that just a strategy to get off cycle with everyone else and try to use the soft tire pace advantage to jump anyone, or was that strategic?
It was definitely strategic at the time. The plan was to do 2 softs at the end, but Supa put an end to that plan with dirty air, so I couldn't actually do it. I had to pit early and put back on the medium, and yeah, that was just unfortunate, but it's the way it goes.
Now, you mentioned Supa using the dirty air to get around you. Looked like he picked up a time penalty, which is what kicked off the ensuing battle and the ensuing carnage between him and Alex with a few laps to go. Were you did you see what happened to them, and then consequently, were you surprised to see how close they were to you in the closing laps before Supa needed to pit and Alex's tires fell off?
I didn't happen to see what happened because they were already a little bit back there for me, and I wasn't really paying attention to them, to be honest. But just at least in the perspective from my eyes, like, the way that they were battling and the way that strategy was run for them this race, like, the way that, from where I started, and from my eyes, I should not be on the podium this race. But they had either really hard battling. I saw they both pit on the same lap. I think they had damage together, though. I have yet to look at the replay, so don't quote me on that. I have no clue. But, yeah, I don't have words, basically, on what happened between them.
All right, well, I'll let you take a look at the replay, but yes, they did both pick up damage from their get-together. But either way, congrats on the P3. A great recovery drive for you to pick up 3 places on a track where overtaking doesn't seem to be very easy here today. So congrats on, once again, another piece of hardware and a few more points to go with it.
Yes, thank you.
All right, moving on. Our second place finisher, probably one of the more infuriating ways to pick up a second place. Larson just stuck in the dirty air of S2K the entire race, and then unfortunately just ran out of tire at the very end. Was there anything you realistically might have been able to do, or do you think you just didn't quite have the tire wear, or was the dirty air just enough to prevent you from making the tires last long enough to try something?
I think I tried everything, undercut and used the boost to... I was close many times, but it's hard to manage the tires when you are behind someone, And the softs, they fell off completely. I had to do another pit. When I was testing, I can manage to make 10 laps, but behind dirty air, not even that.
Well,
it was very tough, but nice as well.
Certainly still a very strong drive for you. Obviously, the two of you just ran away from the rest of the field. Probably helped a little bit by the battle for third on back, but certainly a very impressive pace out of the two of you. What's sort of the mentality that you take into races like this, where it's just you're stuck behind the car in front, but you know that if you can just try to make something happen with the strategy, what's sort of like the mindset when in that sort of situation?
I think now that I know what happened, I should at least pit one lap after on the last stint on the soft. Maybe I could have a chance that way if I have some tire advantage, but we pitted at the same time, and yeah, I think he has better tire wear as well.
All right. Well, a very hard fought P2, still a very strong point stay for you. So congratulations, and
Thank you.
hope to see you back in a couple. I believe it's a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I should probably actually double check the calendar and see where we're going next.
I don't know either.
Headed to Canada.
Oh, is it? Oh, that could be very interesting indeed. Yes, we are. June 6th. Be sure to tune in. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, 1 week before the 24 Hours of Le Mans, so that should be a very exciting race. Brand new track to the series, still a relatively new track to Gran Turismo 7, so very much looking forward to that one. All right, and then finally moving on, our race winner, S2K, 13th career win in the Scorpio Super Formula Series. Obviously, you said coming into the VC, very mirror-filled driving day. And then obviously sporting the Rowdy Forever sticker on the car. Tell us what it means to you to win the race today with all that's happened in the past week.
Honestly, I mean, I tried everything that I could today just to make sure I get the win, especially with the sticker on the side. And, me growing up, I used to watch NASCAR all the time with my dad, and I still do to this day. Every Sunday, I'll come watch the race with him, or even Saturdays or the Fridays in the trucks. And Kyle Busch meant a lot to me in the sport. And, when he was in JGR, I never used to root for him. I used to hate him because, again, everyone knows him as the villain. But over these past couple of years, I've kind of grown more of a liking to him, and I've appreciated his racecraft and his racing a lot and his meaning to the sport. And to be able to get the win, again, with the sticker on the car in commemoration of him really means a lot.
Obviously, I want to talk about tire management and how much of a factor it was today. Obviously played a big part. How much of a part of that is down to just how clean air, and how big of an advantage do you think that was here today?
The clean air was the reason why I won, honestly. It's because my whole incentive here, I wasn't pushing the whole race. I was just keeping him behind. I was doing just enough to, no offense, or no, I'm not going to say no offense, sorry to him, but just to irritate him, maybe make a mistake, make him push on the tire a bit more, which on the soft stint, that was the case. But my goal is just keep it clean, save the tire, because as the run goes on, the time should start coming back to me. But the tire wear in this race was really bad. I mean, from the testing I've done, I was able to extract way more tires, as Adaptive was saying. But this race I couldn't, so I had to change the strategy on the fly. And again, the tire strategy was good this race, and the tire wear was also decent. But again, a lot of it was due to clean air and just keeping a good pace.
All right. And we mentioned, of course, with Canada coming up next, brand new track to the series, and like I said, still a very new track to the game. How much do you think tire wear is going to come into a factor there? And with it being a much more lower speed circuit, how much do you think dirty air is going to be a factor there?
Dirty air will take a good amount of effect because this track is very tight. It's a very tight track, mainly a one lane. Overtaking is quite hard, especially the final chicane. You can't fit more than two cars in there, or you can't fit more than one car. If you fit two cars, you're going to have someone in the wall. So the overtaking will be difficult, and the tire wear, I'm assuming the rear tires are going to be the issue there. So rear grip is going to be a big thing at CGV, and looking forward to the race in 2 weeks.
All right. That was S2K, your race winner, once again here in the Scorpio Super Formula Series. Gentlemen, thank you all once again for joining me in the booth for post-race interviews, and hope to hear back from you Again, in a couple weeks' time, June 6th, same time, same place. Going to be 3 p.m. Eastern, live here on the Scorpio Esports channel. Once again, thank you all so much for tuning in to watch. I have been Scorpio Blade. We will see you in a couple weeks' time for a trip to Canada. Be sure to tune in then. It will be very exciting to watch indeed. Looking forward to it. Goodbye.
Stay rowdy.
Stay rowdy.